My dear students of class 9, welcome to my history and civics class. And at the same time, I wish you happy New Year to all of you. You see, today I have decided to explain certain points of the lesson, the Industrial Revolution. There are certain points, as I mentioned in the board. Please look at it. The first point, steam engine, steam power. Second one, electric power. Third point, commercial growth. Fourth point, transport system. And fifth point, British progressive policy. The first point, steam power. Steam power. The British scientists invented a number of machines during industrial age, and these were the machines which were established, which were discovered by the British scientists, helped this country to be rich, prosperous and wealthy. In each and every field, this country removed all kinds of impossible things, the things which were totally impossible to each and every person. The scientists of Britain, they proved that nothing was impossible to attain. What was needed most was their strong will and determination. They proved that if any country had strong will, firm determination, if any country had a strong will and firm determination, the country would be sure to succeed. That's why what was needed most? Their strong will, their firm determination. Only by adopting this technique and method, this country, England, became a very powerful country during industrial era, during industrial age. And besides the large number of inventions done by the British scientists brought about a revolution in industry in England. Invention of machinery and its use in manufacturing was the starting point of Industrial Revolution. John Key, a weaver of Lancashire in England, invented the flying shuttle, which increased the speed of weaving. It also made the weaving of broadcloth by one man possible. Besides, another scientist who also made the weaving of broadcloth by one man possible. Who was he? He was also a weaver of Lancashire named James Hargreaves. James Hargreaves invented a machine called spinning jenny. That very machine helped him to improve better production for the growth and all-round development of his country, England. It could spin 8 threads at a time instead of 1 thread of the old-fashioned spinning jenny, spinning wheel. Not only that, yarn spun on the jenny also helped. It was very strong. Then Richard Arkwright, another scientist, invented the water frame. It produced harder and stronger yarn than that of the spinning jenny, but it was run by water power. It required water. It required some adequate water. It used in the factory system. So these helped England to be self-sufficient, powerful throughout the whole world. Now steam power, it also encouraged the British scientists. It also encouraged the capitalists. It also encouraged the money maker who decided to invest much more money to make it double only because of that age industrial revolution, which helped them to make more and more money, more and more. There were certain factors which also encouraged them to uh, to be a part of this industrial revolution, like transporting system. There are certain factors. Transport system also helped them to make this country rich and prosperous. Coal tar facilitated hard roads and adequate use of waterways through steamships also helped them. Steamboats extensively contributed to, the development of industrial revolution in many European countries. Later, the metallic roads became popular in Great Britain and also opened the door to other countries of Europe, and hence they also adapted this technique, this method. And due to this remarkable development in the field of transport, railroads became necessary. The invention of railways by George Stephenson also facilitated the transport of material from one place to another and easing communication, and also led to the growth of industrial revolution. Next point, commercial growth. Another point, that is commercial growth. What is the commercial growth? Why was it happen, and what was the reason? The industrial era also witnessed a new era. What were the factors? It also witnessed a new era. What were the factors which led to the growth of industrial development throughout England? It was another most important factor. That was, I am discussing, commercial growth. A number of commercial centers, a number of industrial centers, industrial cities established throughout England in order to establish more and more factories and industries, in order to provide much more opportunities for the needy people who required money. They all joined the factories and industries as factory laborers and started earning. And some of them who are still the villagers of England, they almost all left their villages in search of better occupation, and they started living in industrial cities and started earning, and also gave a birth of a new life, a new modernized life. That's why so many people of villages, they left their villages, they sold their agricultural lands, and some of them who had huge lands, by selling their lands, they invested their money and established factories in order to earn much more amount of money, because they felt that there was no the income from land, agricultural land, was not as satisfactory as they could invest their money for agricultural development. That's why they decided to invest their money by selling their lands and by making their houses in industrial cities. However, the country had made history by becoming the first nation with half of its population. Can you name the country? The name of the country is England. By 1850, millions of British people lived in crowded green industrial cities, and reformers began to speak of the mills and factories as dark, evil places, because the condition of the factory laborers was not good. They lived in a very unhealthy atmosphere, unhealthy quarters, where there was no system of passing sunlight and air properly. There was no good ventilation, and there was no system of providing them health facilities. That's why many workers, they died without being treated. But the factory owners, mill owners had no sympathy for them. They remained busy making money. That's why they had no time to spend for the needy people, for the factory laborers, for their health and for the development of their health. My dear students, it is due to that reason some social reformers, they started reforming the entire system, the entire structure of England, where they showed their grievances and they started protesting the entire system of production from industries, and they criticized. They brought about a new era where the factory laborers could be treated equally. The factory laborers would be treated equally, and they would be given an opportunity where they could live satisfactorily, where they would be provided their health facilities so that they must not die without being treated, and they must not die under starvation. That's why the rule of the reformers, social reformers like Karl Marx, like Friedrich Engels, their role was very important. They played a very vital role throughout the whole world, and that effect first they started from England onwards, and that wave of anger, that wave of protest also reached far and wide in other countries of Europe. My dear students, my next point, transport system and British progressive policy. Transport system, a remarkable change in the system of production came only because of transport system. The transport system means railways, telegraph, and the facilities. These all brought a remarkable change in the system of production, like roads, railways, canals. This greater attention was now paid to road building. James Stalford was a clever bridge builder who constructed a number of bridges, roads across the rivers by means of iron bridges. Then began the era of navigable canals during industrial age. Then began the era of navigable canals that were dug throughout the length and breadth of the country. Railways in the early years of the 19th century helped them. It came the locomotive engine that made railways possible. George Stephenson is regarded as the father of the railway system, because the first railway was the colliery line between Stockholm and Darling of England. It was opened in the year 1825, also encouraged the British factory owners, also encouraged the mill owners to make much more money, to invest much more money for the industrial growth and development throughout England. A railway to carry passengers between Liverpool and Manchester was opened in the year 1830. Now why? What was the aim of that railway line? Not only to carry passengers but also to carry productive goods from one place to another, one industrial city to another city. It was in 1838 that a passenger steamer crossed the Atlantic unsupported by sails. That means from England, railways spread to other countries. And then, only because of that, the development of transporting encouraged the British owners, factory owners, British money maker, and British, industrialists to establish much more industries for not only making money but also for the all-round development of their country, England. Up to this, my dear students. Thank you.